Hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie.
What's up? We are the Business Besties. If you want to like, subscribe, share, join our team, who knows? There's probably links down below. I don't really know how this looks. But if you do want to join one of our teams or you want to chat more about us, with us, go to thebusinessbestiespodcast.com/join, JOIN. Happy to have you here. Cara Miller, welcome, agency owner, has been in the life insurance business for 17 years?
Yeah. Believe it
And
or not,
then,
I'm only like 23 years old. And
it's crazy. It's insane. I'm Efron Landau. I've been in the life insurance industry for a very long 13 months, but I'm on track to hit agency owner. So very exciting times here. Cara, what are we chatting about? What is on your mind today?
I think like the big thing that's sitting on, like weighing on me right now, you have things that weigh on you.
Like
I've got one. Yeah. Like this is an elephant. I was talking to a guy today and he said to me, why would anybody go through the trouble of taking the online licensing course, going to the state, taking their state exam, doing their background check, paying for their license fees, getting contracted, and then they never buy leads, never show up for training, but want to take up all your time, and then never do anything and quit a week later?
I did not know. I did not think that this was where this was going. But you'd be amazed by how many people do this.
I was looking at the numbers today, and it's crazy industry-wide. This isn't like with one company versus another. For every 20 people that get their life insurance license, only one makes it past a year.
Do they not even start? Like, is there anything versus like that compares them to the different types of companies they're with? Like whether they're given leads, they have to buy leads. Like, is there any data out there that, hey, I just went through my whole licensing, got licensed, and then just never even tried?
I don't think there's any data based on like the companies or something because LIMRA tracks it based on licensing and contracting. But it's like, I've seen it in our business. I've seen it in our agency. I just had a young lady who went through all of this trouble to do this. We had done like several one-on-ones. We went through a business plan, created that with her, talked about her schedule, got her all set up, went through a lead strategy with her based on her budget and her goals. And we did all that. I told her to not get less than 100 leads to get started because she was working with our D leads. And she went in there and bought 25 of them, made about 5 calls. And then she goes, yeah, this isn't for me. And I'm like, how do you even know? I don't get people that quit before they actually try something. Like before they actually do something. It blows my mind. When I got started selling life insurance, like I fell flat on my face for the first 6 weeks. Like I did not make a single dime. I had no training. I had no leads. I had no support system. I got my license and I was pushed out there and told, sink or swim. Let us know when you make a sale. And like, I don't get it because even after 6 weeks of just constant failure, doors slammed in my faces and people hanging up on me and being cussed out in every language, which I made into a game. That was fun. But I still got up and I kept doing it and I figured it out because I couldn't imagine putting in all that work and effort and just quitting.
Well, I had the opposite experience today. I actually talked to someone who is coming on board. He was with a different company. I think it was like 4 months. And I think this, has something to do with why people don't last too long typically. So where he was dialing and all of his dials, the appointments would go to like the upline. So he was basically just appointment setting for people. Or he would get through the app and then they would take over the screen and they would finish it. So in the time that he was there for like 4 months, he made less than $500 dialing. Like he said, 4 to 6 hours a day he was dialing. So, and I was just like, and I guess I forget, since we've been here for not even that long, but just being like in the situation, in the culture that we're in with like how good we have it, I forget that there's places out there where there's no training, there's no support. I've had multiple agents come to me and tell me that like, oh yeah, they don't, the money doesn't go directly to them. It goes to like their upline, and then their upline decides, oh, I'll give it to you later. And I'm like, what is happening? So I think part of the data, but like to your point, like with that one, I'm like, how are you going to go through all the licensing, do all this stuff, be like, ring, 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 and just be like, oh no, this is not for me. I think everyone just wants such quick gratification that that doesn't happen in this business. Do you know how much we work? I don't think people understand like how it's very simple, especially where we are, but the amount of work that we have to put in to do this is, it's a lot.
It's insane. And I mean, I think we live in a society that people want instant gratification. And I think the last 5 years, it's been so much easier. The more technology we have, the more everything we have, resources, tools out there, we've gotten to the point where, you know what, we don't even cook our own meals anymore. We just go order it. Or even, and instead of just ordering it, we have somebody that brings it to us. We don't even go to the grocery store and get groceries anymore. And like, I was talking to another guy and I asked him, I said, what are you doing to make income? And he's like, oh, I'm making pretty good money. I'm Ubering. And I'm like, how does that work? He goes, well, I work today and I get paid tomorrow. He's like, it's really simple. And I'm just thinking, okay, well, that's how it works in life insurance. You sell a policy today, you get paid typically within 1 to 3 days. So there's the instant gratification part of it. But we live in a society that if it doesn't happen right then and there, if you don't have success right out the gate, imagine if Michael Jordan picked up the basketball for the very first time, threw it at the basket and missed, and then said, nah, this isn't for me. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I think so I had a different experience when I first started. Well, I won't say completely different. My first 2 days, I didn't have a single appointment show up. I was just like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we're going to keep trying this. And I was like, I don't know how long I'm going to do this for because I'm spending this money. They're not even showing up. But then the next day, my third day, I sold 2 policies to a couple, and I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, okay. Is the money going to show up in my account? And then it did. And then I sold another one on Friday. And I think I netted between 2,000 to 3,000 my first week. But that didn't continue over time, right? You would have weeks where you would just sell absolutely nothing, dial, 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 sit these appointments, not close a single thing. And I'm like, man, honestly, I think if it was not for my wife, I would have quit this industry a long time ago because you need people to pick you up. Like, I'm a very competitive person, and I've always thought in my head, if someone just teaches me how to do something where I can just have my own potential to earn whatever, like, I just need to find something that someone will teach me. And I'm like, okay, so I'm in here. I can do this. Like, I'm sort of having a little guidance, not like we have now, but like a little bit. But I'm like, I don't know, because you want that instant gratification. And I was sort of seeing it, but then you'll have those weeks where you just like spiral down and you're like, what the hell am I doing? And then you're like, do I spend more on leads? Do I walk away? Like, what do I do? So I think you have to, well, I know that you have to have a lot of grit and perseverance in this business, but also you have to understand, like, you have to find the right support systems too. Like, I think most people fail, honestly. Well, number one, they don't always have access to the support system. But number two, ego. Like, I've just seen so many people come onto my team with like, not even that they demonstrate this ego, but they refuse to ask for help. And I'm always like, and same with you. We are always busy, but we are never too busy to help people that are giving 110%. Like, we're going to be there to help you, but they just, no matter how many times I say, hey, let's live dial, run appointments live. So no, very few people do it. And I'm just like, you're doing all of this time, all of this energy, all this money on leads, but you're not utilizing the resources that you have to get better. And I don't know, it makes no sense to me. It's mind blowing.
It is. It's crazy. I do a welcome call once a week for everybody that's new coming into the team.
Yeah,
And I
send
ask
all
them,
mine to you.
I know, I get yours all the time, but I always ask them, I said, if you could go and shadow a successful producer for a day, for 2 days, for a week, if you could watch them dial appointments from a D lead to an A lead to everything in between, you can watch them have failures on the phones. You can watch them have successes on the phones, but you can watch them do that. And then you can go back in that same place and watch these same elite producers, these same people that are having this tremendous success, people that are high up on the leaderboards, doing $20,000 a month or more, and watch them run their appointments from beginning to end. Watch the way they think. Watch the way they follow the process and they follow the system. And you're watching everybody bring their own flair. They got to have a little personality. And you watch them do this. How many people would think that is beneficial? And it's crazy because I did that and I said, put me in the chat because we do that welcome call over Zoom. And I had all like 40 people last night tell me, me. And I'm like, okay. But I guarantee you that tomorrow on our Zoom room that we have open from 8 a.m. Eastern to 8 a.m. Pacific, that no more than 5 of you will be on there. And you know what? No more than 5 of them are on there. And I'm like, I don't know why that is the way it is, but it's like people want to be successful, but they don't want to do the work to be successful. Like, it's not easy. I mean, you talked about the fact that we work our tails off. We do. My husband says I work more than I actually see him or spend time with him.
That's what Sable says.
It's true. It's true. But I look at this. I was taking Devin from our office home today. And I said, you know what I do when I get home, Devin? And he goes, relax, enjoy your kids. I said, yeah, until they go to bed. And then at 7:30 when they go to bed, I go right back to work. Because it's not about clock in, clock out. It's not about the hours that I clock. I'm the first one in the office every day. I'm the last one to leave every day. And I go home and I still work because I know that if I put in the amount of time and effort now, that later when I'm ready to take that real time and really live my life, that I will have built something phenomenal because I sacrifice now for what I want later. But not everybody's willing to do that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like last night, I don't even know what I was doing. I was interviewing people. I have not sold anything.
You were
this
definitely
week,
not on the
yeah.
welcome call.
No, I wasn't. I haven't sold anything this week, but I haven't sold anything because I haven't run any appointments because I've had so many interviews and agent meetings. So last night, I don't know, I probably got done interviews, and then I don't even know what the heck we did. But after whatever, I go back. Oh, we had to go to Sable's mom's house. We had to go to my mother-in-law's yesterday for dinner real quick. And we get back, and I was doing interviews over there. They're like, do you ever stop working? And I was like, no. I sat down with them for dinner, and then I had to get up because I had a call with an agent that I'm trying to bring on board. And then we got home, and I walk in. I pick up my computer. Well, no, I didn't pick it up. It was with me. I take it out of my backpack. I go to the couch. It's like 10:30. Sable's like putting something on, and I'm like, hey, I got this feedback because I just built like a new little onboarding program for my people that's easier than the checklist. But someone said something about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I should add this to it so you understand it more. Like the E&O insurance, they put like the March 1st, and I was like, man, I should put a note in there for them. Hey, make sure you backdate it because then you can't start. So I was like, let me grab my computer, do this, pull it up. I'm doing this real quick. And like Sable knows, like we have this plan in our head that it is full steam ahead until we hit our goals, and our goals keep moving up. So it's a very long marathon at this point, but it's fine because like you said, if we bust our tails now, we're going to be in a really, really good position later. So we have the mindset where like, hey, sometimes I got to do things. Sometimes she's doing stuff and doing interviews and whatnot, or like her phone's blowing up now because we have all the agents in group chats with her so that she can get them onboarded or through licensing. So her and I are just like constant go, 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 go. But we also know if we do that now, like we're going to be so grateful that we did that. And we talk about other people like that, I won't say work with, we don't really work with, that we have here at our place. And some of them, they're like, we're done at 6 o'clock because we have kids and we went, and that is great. And I commend them for doing that and having that balance. But for me and Sable to get to where we want to go, sometimes we're just working till 11 o'clock at night. My bedtime has changed from like 9:30, 10 o'clock to like midnight now. And then I'm back up at 6 o'clock. But it's just like this adrenaline that keeps you going because you're like, that you are building something massive. And if you just keep your foot on the gas for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, you are going to be so thankful that you did it, because then you can look back and be like, man, we worked our butts off, but now look at us. Instead of like, who wants to be working just like paycheck to paycheck for the rest of their life?
It's crazy. I mean, but here, I look at it this way too. There are people in this business that get up, they start dials at 8 a.m., they're done by 6 p.m., and they put in that time and effort and they get the results that they want because everybody's goals are going to be different. So like I have people that I sit down with and their goals are like, Cara, I just need to make $1,000 a week. And I'm like, great. Those are the kind of people that truly would be happy working 3 days a week, working from 8 in the morning till about 5 or 6 at night with a 2 or 3 hour break in the middle of the day. That's perfect for them. Then there are people like you and me that are like, look, $1 million a year is just the start. That's where we're going for. Like, it's in our sights. We know what we're working towards. We know what we're going for. We're running, $12 million agencies. And here's the thing. We're willing to do the things it's going to take, which might mean working more than just 8 in the morning to 5 or 6 at night. It's going to take more effort because our dream is bigger than making $1,000 a week. Your effort has to match your goals. You won't get to where you want to be if your effort is not where it needs to be to get there. I think the difference between a successful agent and an unsuccessful agent is 3 things. The first is expectations. Having really good expectations of what it's going to take to get to where you want to go and a roadmap to get there is key. It's vital. Most agents have unrealistic expectations. They think, I got one lead, I'm going to call it, I'm going to book it, I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to make $1,000. That's unrealistic. It's just unrealistic. The second thing that most people fail to do is they don't communicate. I had a guy I sat with today, and he's been what we call good to go. That means eligible to start writing business. He's carrier contracted. He's been given all the tools and resources, and he has had what we call failure to launch because he didn't know what to do. And instead of picking up the phone and texting me, or picking up the phone and calling me, shooting me an email, asking in the group chat, putting it on, I don't know, there's a million different ways. He just sat there like a lump. And I'm just like, when were you going to ask for help? And that was my question to him today. And he was like, well, I was waiting for somebody to tell me what to do. This business, that goes to my third point. You have to be able to, the third reason that people fail most is they cannot manage themselves. Here's the thing about what we do. I don't manage anybody. I will coach you. I will mentor you. I will answer your questions. And if I don't have the answer, I will sure as damn find it. But if you don't show up, you don't communicate with me, you don't ask me for help, I ain't doing shit for you. I just don't have the time and effort. People always say, well, I didn't want to bother you. Well, shit, I'm busy all the time. But I'll tell you what, if you're all in, I'm all in with you. I will take your call at midnight if that's what it takes. I will sit through and walk you through that application if that's what it takes. If you're all in with me, But the second you're like 99% in and 1% out, new phone, who dis? That's
Hmm.
what
Yeah.
you're getting.
Yeah. Like the agent I called you in for the meeting with today, she's done everything I've asked of her. She's live dialed. She's run appointments live. She sent me recordings. And then she hit me up today and she said, "Hey, do you have time to chat? I'm struggling with something." Of course I do. I jumped right in with her. And when she brought up something and I'm like, I haven't experienced this yet, I called you. And I was like, "Hey, can you come join us? Because if I don't have the answer, I'm going to go find it for you." And, after you left, because I don't buy my agents' leads. I'm like, nope, this is your skin in the game. Go buy your own leads. I do stuff and like I will from time to time if, they're going above and beyond and I'm like, man, like you're crushing it here. Like, let me get you some leads. Like I'll do stuff like that. But up front, you have to put skin in the game. You got to show me that you're here to like, no, I'm not doing that. But with her, so she's been doing everything I asked. You met with her today too. And I think she only has like a couple state licenses, but we got to get her like a couple more out of for like some states that have more flow because we have a ton of agents. So like let's just get you a couple more. I'm like, listen, you go get this state after we talked to our lead person who I have connections with, and I was like, where should we get a license? And then she told me a few, and I was like, all right, listen, go buy this. If you go buy this one tomorrow when you have that license, I'm gonna grab you $200 worth of leads because she's communicating, she's live dialing, she's running appointments live, she's doing literally everything I ask. And you know how I went to UNP and I was like, just tell me what to do and I will do it. I was like, hey, you're on the East Coast. They said a West Coast state. Are you going to run Pacific time? She's like, if you tell me to go get that and you tell me like these are the leads to buy and you tell me to dial with you and run appointments live, I will do that. And I was like, perfect, go buy that and I'll get you the leads tomorrow. So that's what it takes to be successful in this business. Like, I honestly don't even know how you and I are standing here because at conference before we went, I texted you and I was like, hey, or I might have emailed you. I don't even know if I had your number. And I was like, hey, do
Oh
you have
no,
a
it was a
minute?
text message. It was
Was
a
it a
text
text?
message, and I blew you off like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Cara blew me off. So we go to conference. She's like, oh yeah, we can get together. And then we were supposed to meet, and I don't even know. You blew me off. And I was just like, okay. And I was like a small little creature at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone. And then you hit me up and you're like, hey, let's meet, whatever. And I was just like, okay, she'll hit me up. And then I'm just like, it's the last day. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to meet with Cara. I should have reached out and been like, hey, Cara, thank God that last morning you were like, hey, I'm down getting breakfast if you want to come down. And I was like, boom, boom, boom. But honestly, now that I know you, I'm actually shocked that you did it because I should have reached out again, right? So it takes people reaching out. You have to put in that effort. We're always available if you're doing what we ask and you reach out and communicate for help. But if you're not doing that, and I tell my agents this all the time, like I will answer you. And I even have Sable in group chats now because if I'm busy doing other stuff, Sable will get back to you for me. And if she doesn't know it, she'll literally walk in while I'm doing something and just be like, can you give me the answer so I can text it to them? Right? But it's like, if you don't communicate, I'm going to give my energy to those people that are plugging in 110% and communicating. I can't waste my energy on people who are not communicating or just not flat out following the system.
Here's the thing. It's not just about communication. Communication is a layer, but you've got to be your own advocate too. So you have to communicate, but I tell people, if you message me and you don't hear back from me, it's not that I'm blowing you off. It's not that I'm ignoring you. I will be on a training call from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Monday through Saturday. And in that hour, I will have right before, I make it a point every day, right before I clear all my text messages. I go through every single one, make sure everything is touched, everything is responded. By the time we're off that call, in an hour, I have between 70 to 100 new text messages every single day without fail. And it's not that
Am I pinned? Am I pinned? Am I a pinned person?
You actually are a pinned person.
Yes, I'm a pinned person.
You're right there. So if you look at my pins, it's my husband, Pete, and then you. So you bump Chris Meek down to like number 4. And
oh, man, sorry, Chris.
Katie's always going to be the center because she's my
Mm.
center.
She's the
But
center of your world.
she is because she knows where all the bodies are buried too. And so like when I'm like, help, she knows exactly. I'm like, she's my lifeline. But it's not that I'm blowing people off. I didn't know you. I didn't hire you directly. I didn't, bring you on board, and you reached out for help. And it wasn't that I was ignoring you. It was I was running around doing a million things, and it wasn't right here in front of me. ADHD brain, right here, right? If it's not right there in front, do you know how many times I go to send a text message on a daily basis and never hit send? Like, way too many times. Because Adam came in my office today. He's like, can you please respond to this text message? And I'm like, I did like an hour ago. And I pulled it up. I never hit send. This is my life. But it just so happened that the day that I was getting ready, we were packing up and I was getting ready to leave, it popped in my head. I've blown this person off like 3 times, not on purpose, but because conference is a big deal. I mean, I probably got in like 20,000 steps a day, running from place to place, location to location, on top of being on stage and, training agents and helping people and being, and I'm running a team of staff on top of it. And I was like, you know what? If they're available, let me take their time. Let me do it now. And, it was a life-changing conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
imagine this. If I didn't text you that morning, where would you be right now?
Definitely not here. I would not, because I think I'd be producing at a decent level, but there's no way I would be building the way that I am because we're literally just plugging it. Like we communicate daily, multiple times. Now you're in a group chat with me and say, like we're all communicating. Um, but the only reason we got here is because of that first conversation. And so sometimes it's like, yeah, we get super busy. And for me, it's the same thing. I'll be in like interviews and I'm trying to be very mindful because I'm the type of person I can multitask, but I can't do like auditory things and multitask. So if I'm interviewing someone and I need to make sure I'm giving them my undivided attention, I'm not texting. So today I had like 6 back to back to back to back on Google Meet with these agents. So my phone's right here. I'm like, there's nothing more urgent than me talking to someone who's looking for the same opportunity that I have. So it's like things have to wait. It's like I didn't forget about you. I'm gonna get to you. But to your point, like thank goodness, like I did reach out, but also thank goodness, you took that time because we would not be, where we are at the moment with our business.
Not at all. And for me, like, I would not be getting the traction I'm starting to get on social media if I hadn't reached out to you, pestered you, annoyed you to the point where I made you make my first TikTok video. Like, I wouldn't be there either. Sometimes we have to be uncomfortable to get to where we want to be. And I think that's another reason most people fail is they're not willing to be uncomfortable. Do you know how many, this one, it irks the snot out of me. You ever talk to that agent, they get their phone script for the first time, and then they pick apart the grammar in it?
No,
Now,
actually, I have not had that.
oh God, it's like this week has been the grammar police all over the place. And I'm like sitting there going, look, I'm the first one to be all over grammar in print. Now, you talk to me, you might think I'm uneducated. But when it comes to, the written word, I am the grammar police. Commas matter. Okay. Commas matter. But the reason that script is written the way it is because it works. It's utilized, it's proven, it's tested. So because saying something that way is going to be uncomfortable for you doesn't mean you should change something that's proven and has proven data-driven results because it makes you uncomfortable. That's just
And
stupid.
also, if someone is where you want to be, why would you not utilize them and live dial and run appointments live? Like, if I want to be where Josh Crisp is, I'm going to get on a call with Josh Crisp. and I'm going to look at what he's doing, and I'm going to try and do the same thing. And I'm going to talk to him and figure out what is he doing? What can I do? And ever since he gave me the advice, he's like, Efron, you're building like crazy from social media, but you're not bringing in any big fish because of the content you're putting out, right? You're talking about life coaching and new people and coming on board. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I need to start talking about my numbers. I need to start talking about the leads that I'm dialing. I need to start talking about people that are in the industry. What are they missing where they are that we have and that I have on my team? When I switch that, my interviews now, I'm just like, man, where are these people coming from? I just completely ADHD and I have no idea where I'm going with this conversation right now. What were we talking about?
Well, you're right. When it comes to it, it's, I have no idea what we're talking
looking
about.
at people where, yeah, it was, if there's people that are where you're
Squirrel.
going to be, why are you not using them? And I think that's what it all comes down, right? People get uncomfortable. I forget that I think people might be a little intimidated by people like Brandon. I don't give a shit if it's Brandon. I'm gonna call it Brandon. I think people are uncomfortable talking to people who might be in situations where they want to be. We were exactly where you were, right? And they get uncomfortable doing things in front of people, like running stuff live. But I will tell you, if you are not willing to be uncomfortable in this business, you are going to be that 92% that fails. It undeniably.
My last thought. You're ever in a room with a bunch of people and there's that one person that you're like, wow, they got up, they spoke, like it's almost a little embarrassing. Like I would be embarrassed if I did that. That's the person who's going to be successful. That's the person that is not going to let anything get in their way. Not the fact that they're being socially awkward, not the fact that they're interrupting when they shouldn't. That's the person that's going to get what they need regardless of the soil they're planted in, regardless of the situation. They're going to get what they need because they advocate for themselves, they ask questions, and they communicate. So be the weird person in the room. Stand up and ask for what you need. I know Jamal tells us all the time, don't be weird, but in this moment, be weird.
Yeah, be weird. And if you want to come be weird with us, the businessbestiespodcast.com/join. Appreciate y'all joining us on this episode. We'll see you next Sunday.